Good morning, good noon, and a very special good evening from India. Today we are again on the Global Talk Show by Business Bar Academy, Netherlands. And this show, today's episode, is going to be super awesome and super exciting because I have a lovely guest from Canada. And she is none other than Coach SandraValks. Welcome, Sandra, to our show. It's a great pleasure hosting you.
Well, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you, Supriya. It's amazing how we can be all over the world.
Well, before I take a lovely deep dive to my journey with Sandra, let me apprise Sandra. Not one or two. She's a coach, she's a Toastmaster, and the special one which we'll be talking about, her compassionate queen talk. And that we are going to see in a later journey. And as usual, I would love to know, Sandra, your lovely, incredible journey with my all audience who are watching you live today.
Well, you know, when you get this old, but of course, I've got another 30-year career ahead of me. But when you get this old, you get to think, what was my journey? Because there's journeys to each individual part of yourself. There's my journey to motherhood. There's my journey to adulthood. There's my journey and so on. And then the journey to business. So I've been in the financial business for 40 years now. And still I think, what do I want to be when I grow up? So out of that came also my coaching, my life coaching. I was at a group where we were well, how do we get that all sorted out? How do we do that? And I was with in San Diego. No, not San Diego. Okay. Anyhow, I was at a course, and the lady that was leading it, Sassy, she said, you know, she was the queen of conversion. And so we in the audience said, well, how did you get to be called the queen? Who said you were the queen? Because she would have a crown, which I'm going to get. I'm going to get a crown. Okay. How did you get to be the queen? Who said you're the queen of conversion? She says, I did. Oh, she said, look, people, there ain't nobody going to put a crown on your head. You have to do it for yourself. Oh, so tomorrow when you come back to the classes, I want to know what you're the queen of or the king of. Because there were 2,000-3,000 people there. So there were four of us, four strangers sharing one room at the resort.
Oh my God.
It was so much fun. You know, you just have to be adventurous. So four strangers, we decided to share a room. Okay. And we're going around, well, what would I be the queen of? And I was the only one that didn't have university. And I'm feeling very small. Oh. And they said, stop it, Sandra. You're so smart and you just do all that straight talk all the time. You're the queen of straight talk. I said, what? So I tried that on. Queen of straight talk. Well, I do have a lot of opinions and people aren't sure what to do with me when I do. So anyhow, I thought, okay, the queen of straight talk. So I came home from there as the queen of straight talk. And I would warn people, okay, if you want to know what I think, you have to tell me so because I can be pretty brutal. So I was often using this word brutal about myself because I speak so straight. What I have to say, I say. And different people would start to say, Sandra, I want you to stop it. You are never brutal. You have never been brutal. You say what you have to say, but you are never brutal with it.
Okay. That's quality, Sandra. That's a great quality. I must appreciate that.
Right. Yeah. But I hadn't seen it. So you see how we have to put things out to the universe. We have to be who we are and take feedback. Yeah. So they got tired of me saying I was brutal. And they said, no. I said, well, what am I then? Because people don't know what to do with me. People don't know what to do with straight talk and honesty, but that's who you are. And you're always compassionate. Oh, oh, I like that. So I tried that on, but that's really how we grow. We try things on. So, okay, I'm Coach Sandra. I'm the compassionate queen of straight talk. And that started to feel really good. And I have claimed it. So I love the Coach Sandra, compassionate queen of straight talk. It's almost like a song off my lips now.
Super. So this is a lovely one which you told. And one thing, Sandra, really touched my heart about when you talk about blunt talk, straight from the heart. And I tell you, this world, when we see people, when we see different personalities, where people are different in their hearts and there's something on their tongue. You know, they talk very honey dripped words, but they are having so much of enmity in their heart. But the person like you who believe in straight talking, that's really great. What is there in your heart? Same thing on your tongue. And that is the main gratitude, which I really, really appreciated. So hats off to you. It's really great one. So, well, moving to my journey, Sandra, I am sure in this experience of age, you would have crossed n number of hurdles and challenges. And I wish, along with my, all the global audience, what were your challenges you faced in your life?
First off, I would say I grew up on the farm.
Oh.
And when I grew up on the farm out in the country, I don't know if it was for all. I can't speak for all farm kids and all country kids, but somehow I would feel that the city kids knew more. They were slick, they were street smart. I was innocent and I was country. So that was a challenge for me to think I'm not stupid. And many decades later, as you look back at your own accomplishments and how things have changed, I started to recognize how important it was. Growing up on the farm, out in the country, we did not get to go to town every time something broke. We had to learn to fix things ourselves. And we didn't have a grocery store around the corner. You had to plan your food. And if strangers, or not strangers, but if people showed up at dinner time, even if they were strangers, they came in and had a meal as well. So how did you take a meal that was ready for your family and stretch it into 2 or 3 more people? So we learned so many things about life and being self-sufficient. And we learned how important community was, because in our little country community, we had 20, 25 families and we all raised each other's kids. I mean, I was the kid, but anybody there could have disciplined me.
Wow.
And anybody would take you in and look after you. So that was one of the areas. When I was about 12 years old, the farmhouse burned down. And we had a party phone line out in the country. So when the fire started, you got into this big brown box that was on the wall and you ring it. That meant emergency. That meant emergency because there were several people on one phone line.
Oh my God.
And so after you did that, then you'd pick it up, fire at the Wiccans, the house is on fire. And then they would spread that along up the line and they all showed up to save the house. Well, the house was burned and we had to go somewhere. So each of the children, each of the people in the family went to different people's houses in the community and lived there for 2 or 3 months.
Oh my God.
So that type of growth is really hard to duplicate when it's community that's looking out for each other. Yeah. Of course, there's death and dying. Everybody has that.
Yeah.
But today, people don't know what to do when somebody dies. And that's a shame. Because even as a child, when somebody died, off the whole family went to the funeral home. And we stood around for 2, 3 hours. It wasn't this run in for 10 minutes and wonder how fast can I get out of here. Yeah. No, we stayed for 2, 3 hours, told stories, did some crying and laughter, and we just had a waking, I guess. So those were other important things. My son passed My mom and dad passed, my two brothers are gone. My sister and I look at each other and say, this isn't looking good. It's down to the last two of us.
Oh.
And so with that, you can laugh or cry. And I refuse to live in tears. I refuse. I've tried that, don't like it, not going to stay there. That's the way it is. Life is really a decision.
Yeah,
You choose. You choose. Mhm.
And
So I would
Sandra,
say the challenges
yeah,
are
yeah,
coming
yeah.
to just what's happening. I mean, somebody dying, that's the way it is. I mean, I could be killed driving to the grocery store. Who knows? You know, we don't have any guarantees.
Right.
What are you going to do with it? And are you going to accept, here's what's happening right now? Am I looking around? Am I safe? Yes, I'm safe right now. I'm fine. I can just be right now in the present moment. I'm safe. I'm fine.
Yeah. And Sandra, you know, in life, I have seen people, they are having everything. You know, I know some of my friends are there, they're having everything, you know, money, wealth, everything. But they still cry. Oh no, I'm not having this. You know, tiny, tiny things, they will cry and they will make their present worst. And there are so many people I know, they are not having anything, but they're happy. And the life contentment, when I see, it's all about your mental stability or mental thinking, that matters a lot. And your heart should be happy. That's most important in life, that how you said, it's my choice to be happy. And I
Mhm.
really, really love it, you know. It's my choice to be happy, whether thousands of challenges are running behind me, but I have to save myself and I have to move on. And that's the beauty of life, Sandra, which you are radiating, which you are giving in a very, very positive manner. And I hats off to you for your challenges, which you took it as a friendship, just like an opportunity, and you moved on. So great journey, lovely one, and lovely, beautiful answer. Well, moving to my lovely journey with Sandra, I want to ask about, I'm so interested to know about your Sandra Talks Night, which you do, what actually it is, and what you do actually in your work, because you're a Toastmaster, you're a coach, and you also do the Sandra Talks Night. So please enlighten us too.
Well, you can't separate life, can we? If we do, we're not going to be ourselves. So if I look back over who have I been, I was a school teacher at one time.
Oh,
When I first came out of high school, we went to teachers college and I was a school teacher for 4 years.
all right.
Right. And then I was married to a military fellow. So we went to Europe for 3.5 years.
Mhm.
So that was the way this little country girl got to see a lot more of the world. And since then, I've had the travel bug. So I've been all over the world and I continue. But yes, so I was a school teacher and then I was traveling around, had my son in Germany, came back and there were no teaching jobs. Now what do I do? So I waitressed for 6 years. In fact, at the one location, I was a singing waitress. I had so much fun.
Wow.
I would tease the customers, get their dinners all looked after, and the owner played the electric accordion. He could play anything. And if somebody put in a request and he didn't know it, he'd say, Sandra, do you know that song? How does it go? Hum it for me. Oh yes, okay. And he'd pick it up and play it. It was amazing.
Oh, super.
But after the dinners were all served, I would tease the customers and say, that's really good music up there. I said, you should go up and sing. Go on up and sing. And they'd say, oh no. I said, go. Well, I'll go if you'll go, he'll say.
Oh.
There's the hustle. So then their mouths would fall open because I'd go up and sing a few songs and come back. Okay, it's your turn. You hustled me. That's not okay. I can't sing.
Okay.
So I was a singing waitress. I loved it, and it was a German restaurant. Then I thought, well, what am I going to do? Businesses would say, you're just a teacher. You can't do business. We can't hire you.
Oh.
Like, what? So eventually I went back to school. I went back to school for a year. Whoops, I'm moving myself here.
Okay.
Went back to school for a year and went into the life insurance business. And that was 40 years ago. The life insurance and investments and financial planning. But somewhere in that, by the time I've interviewed thousands of people about money and health and very private affairs and coached them along, I realized I've been coaching all my life. People would show up at my door and say, Sandra, I need this, or how can you help me with that? Or what should I do about this or that? So that's how I decided, okay, I'm going to move into life coaching.
Yeah.
And that's when I became the straight talk, the queen of straight talk, the compassionate queen of straight talk. And now as I'm growing, somebody said, well, what do you have to do to get that marketing going? Like 5 years from now, what do you see you're doing? And who are you being? I said, I'm being bold. Right. Okay, so now you're the first to hear it. I am Coach Sandra, the bold and compassionate queen of straight talk.
You are
Whoa.
bold and compassionate.
But when I'm working, really, it's mostly around communication, because once we understand that if we can open our mouths and
Yeah.
say truth, if we can speak truth, be authentic, yes, we're going to be compassionate with people. Yes, we're going to be remembering tactfulness and all those wonderful things. But once we can actually claim our words and have our voice, we are on our way to living our own life, not what everybody else thinks. We don't even know what they think. We just think that they think that that's what we're supposed to be. You know, you can go around in a circle. Who are you supposed to be? I would vote for be yourself. Be you. That's what I aim for.
Definitely. And Sandra, when you told about your glorious work, your compassionate talks, how it went, and it seemed to me like a roller coaster ride, like going here, and enjoying every phase of life, whatever the life is throwing at you, you enjoyed every turn, whatever the life giving you as a gift, you're accepting it, and you're moving on and on, and still you're moving and doing fantabulous job. And I wish you all the best, beautiful, marvelous work which you are doing now. So ravishing and so glorious to get this. Super fun. Well,
Yes, I think I've chosen always. I've been blessed with what you would call a sunny disposition. It's not that I don't have hard times. I've been in a deep depression. I know that one. We don't get away from anything, but we grow with it. We learn from it. And having been in that deep depression, I can feel when I start to head that, oh, I've been there before. I don't have to stay there. So you monitor yourself. You monitor yourself. And that is the self-leadership that is so important. So I've had a sunny disposition. I'm usually mindfully aware. I think I've always been curious, and I've always been creative. So some of it's a blessing, but we could say, well, I'm put upon and I can be creatively depressed. No. Then that becomes a choice. So find your way to serve others. And in that serving, you're out of yourself. And you're in joy.
So even, Sandra, when people encounter depression, that moment we should not think anxiety or, dull or demotivated. It's just a phase of time which says, this shall too pass. And any incident of your life, this is my own personal experience, will come to teach you, to train you, or to give you some experience, because experiences are the best teachers, which you cannot even learn from YouTube video or your books. So whatever happens, it happens for a reason, and whatever happens, it happens for the good of your life. Only we realize later when we come out of those situations. And in your case, I can say 100%. So it's really lovely to know this answer, how to move on, how to come out of those such pits and make yourself a stronger one. And that's called SandraValks today. And I'm happily saying that. It's really glorious to know that. Well, we talked about your challenges, your incredible life. And one more turn I would like to ask you, Sandra, besides being a coach, what are your beautiful hobbies? What would you love to work in your leisure time?
Well, first off, I'm always humming and singing a song wherever I
Oh,
go.
so can we have now if you want?
Now, here's the fun story.
Okay.
Now, it's not always serious songs, but I was in Uganda when the pandemic was declared.
Oh,
And I was listening to a YouTube thing where they were saying, you need to be able to sing and get your cells happy so your body can be over it. So here's what I learned. And then I would sing it when I was talking to Sarah at the consulate and she was down, so people that were needing to help me, I said, have you sung the song today? Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. Every little cell in my body is happy.
awesome melodious song, I must say, Sandra. You're a really great personality.
I taught it to the children in the household where I was living, because I was living with a refugee family
Okay.
for a while I was there. And so we'd all be jiving and dancing. And the truth is that if we can really raise our energy, raise our vibrations, our body is going to have a better immune system. So that song was really critical. And that's, whenever you're down, you just say, every little cell in my body is happy.
Yeah, I can sense those vibes sitting over here that yes, when we sing, when we just space our body, we really feel relaxed. And that's what we know, Strengthening our immunity system is a way to learn, to sing, to dance, and to relax ourselves. I really loved your voice, Sandra. You really sing well. I think you should go as a singing coach also. So we'll be glad to know that. Wow, fantabulous. Well, that's a great hobby. And it's a really, really great show, which is going on, turning on in every point of view. Super good. Now, I would love to know, as of now, what are your plans and what is the mission of SandraValks, if I ask you?
I, first off, see myself affecting change for thousands of people by getting them encouraged to claim their voices, to live life full out. Don't go hiding somewhere. We're all here to serve. And when we serve, we have joy in our heart. Now, along with that, doing what we love and being who we are, then can also bring abundance. So there has to be a way that all of it comes together where I do what I love and live abundantly.
Sure.
I love to travel, and I have a community that I'm working with in Uganda at the moment. I met a young man who's just an amazing, amazing leader. And he was looking after 260 children.
Yeah.
Because these children, he won't call them orphans. He said, they're children. They deserve to be fed. They deserve to have their schooling. And I said, yeah, well, you'd see how old I am. And I said, where are the grandmothers? Oh, yes, we have to feed them too. We have to feed them too. They have to, because then they look after the, stop it. Those grandmothers, you get them in here to a meeting. Zoom has opened the world. I said, you see me, I'm not dead yet. I'm a grandma. You get those grandmas in here, you find 3 or 4 of them, you'll see the leader that's inside. So over they came. Well, instantly we had a grannies group and there's a youth group, and the youth thought grannies were just old people that didn't know anything. And the grannies thought, well, they're just young people. They're not going to listen. They think I don't know anything. Well, what it is that they're all working together now. And the whole community is awakening. Now I have another lady, she's Ugandan herself in the States, but she wanted to help, but she wants to help young moms, single moms, and widows. And she said, well, I suppose I could help. No, you leave the grannies alone, youth alone. You just deal with the group that you're engaged with, that you're excited about. So she's joining this same community and going to be working with young moms. So we got all the segments coming together, and then they can blossom.
Yeah.
Because I could send $50 a month to a child. That's going to help one child. And if I die tomorrow, the money stopped. He doesn't get to go to school. She doesn't get to learn English. It goes. That's not where I like to be. I want something bigger. And even though I don't spend a lot of money because I don't have a lot of money to send. And actually that's a blessing, because instead of just being easy to hand out, they have to learn to do it for themselves. And that is what's happening. The whole community is awakening. And so for $100, $200, they can get their pigs and their piglets and start a project and start to grow. They're doing sacks where they put the soil in the sacks and do seeds, and they can share. So I go full circle, because right back to my childhood on the farm and that community, the blessing of community. If there's some way I can help people see how important it is to work together, everybody can rise.
Wow, I must say you are doing a fabulous job for the society, and whatever abundance or gratitude you are giving, the universe is going to give, not going to give, universe is giving you that. And that, vibrations, positivity, gratitude, you can sense, because I can sense too. So you are sensing too that. And really a great job, Sandra, you are doing. And I wish you all the best these coming years, which you are doing for the society. It's really, really great, because there are only few people who are doing selflessly for the society, and you are among one of them. So
Thank you.
Great. I must say, a great achievement, great contributions, and lots of success wishes to you from my side, Sandra. It's really amazing to host you today. And I can't believe this, Sandra. We have arrived to 30 minutes of now, and I never felt, I felt like we just started. It's just 5 minutes have passed, because I love talking to you. I love talking to you. I love
good timing. You're just freezing up now.
Yes. And before I go for my another question, I would like to ask one thing. Please give your beautiful message to the world who is watching you now.
Well, okay. I'm going to say to the world, be bold. Be bold. Claim your voice. You've got a voice, claim it, figure out what you have to say, but say it, claim it. So that is to speak up, show up. Now, show up means you don't sit on the sidelines watching life pass you by. You're in there playing. Get in and show up in life. Play and try. If you fall down, get a bloody nose, you wipe it up and get going again. That's how we learn. And then stand up. Stand up for who you are. Stand up for the people around you. Stand up to rise up, to raise others up as well. Do it all. You can learn it. You can be it.
Wow.
Speak up, show up, stand up, and live your life.
Awesome. This is fabulous message which you have delivered today, not to me, but to the whole world. And heartfelt thanks to you, Sandra, for giving this beautiful, cherishable evening to the world, to me. And I'm humbled and gratitude today to host you today. So once again, million thanks.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, my lovely audience, for always showering blessings. Take care, stay happy, hail and hearty. Bye-bye.